Right, hello, yes, it is me. I am indeed back, the one and only. Remember that time last week when I said, and get a load of this, I said, hey, I'm going to start doing videos from Monday to Friday. 5 videos a week. We've done really well, is my point. And also, remember when I said I wasn't going to order takeaways for 30 days? Did really well on that as well. Look, I had to order some avocado. This isn't what today's video is going to be about, by the way. I'm warming up my vocal cords by talking. I had to order avocado toast today because I felt ill. I didn't feel that I had the mental fortitude to go to Tesco's and wait in line for 30 minutes to pick up a little bit of bread so I could make some avocado toast. So I just ordered it instead because, look, I don't spend money on drugs or alcohol or more drugs anymore, so what's a little bit of avocado toast? You know what I mean? I've got to treat myself. Look, I'm rich now. Drinks one coffee, acts like a pleb. So, right, yeah, I kind of want to try something a little bit new. I really enjoy Russell Brand. I think that's apparent to anyone who listens to me talk sometimes. I really like Russell Brand, been a big fan of him for many, many years, and I enjoy on his YouTube channel when he just monologues about stuff, and I kind of want to do similar things, but I'm not smart. No, I am smart. I'm smart, but I have a tendency to monologue in my head and waffle on and on and on to myself, and I think, wow, I say some really great things, but it's not like I'm coming to any sort of conclusion or answer. It's almost as if I'm figuring out ideas as I verbalise them, as I get them into this reality. I'm like actualising them. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of want to do a bunch of short 5, maybe 10-minute videos of me waffling on and just talking about stuff. But then I kind of feel like that's not really content. That's not really valid. I don't feel that valid as a content creator anyway. Can I really get away with this? But then I remember that thing about 7 years ago, the Chubby Bunny Challenge, when everyone was just shoving marshmallows in their gob, seeing how many they could fit in one go. Remember that was a thing? This is more valid than that, surely. I don't know. Suppose I wanted to talk about the idea of greatness, because it's something that I've just been thinking about a lot. I was listening to Richard Ayoade, love Richard Ayoade, talk about greatness and mediocrity, and everyone wants to be great, but most people are just mediocre. And how the ego, my ego especially, I'm talking subjectively, only from my personal point of view, for like these little monologues, obviously, because I can only talk from my opinion, my subjective experience of this reality. My ego gets in the way of a lot of things. I want to be a writer. Technically, I have published a body of writing, one short ebook about, you know, Piers Morgan wanking himself off with sausage roll. Vegan sausage roll, that's important. That's an important thing to note. I want to be a writer, and my ego gets in the way of me writing, because the thing is you've just got to do the thing. And that's all that's really required of a lot of creative pursuits. If you just do the thing, learn from your mistakes each time around, and you're going to make lots of mistakes and fail a lot of the time, but if you keep going, probably going to stumble upon a little bit of success, right? But my brain gets in the way of that because I'll be all pumped up to write. I'm halfway through The Reptilian That Causes Brexit book, but I've been putting it off for the past month, and I thought to myself during this lockdown time I would try to finish the Reptilian book, but I haven't really done that, and I don't feel very good about not being productive. And I know that there's a lot of people saying, look, this is a stressful time for everyone, like we're all under a lot of mental stress, it's fine if you're not being that productive, but for me, I really just want to write a bloody book. I've already been on this earth for a long time without having written a full-length book, and it's something I've supposedly wanted to do since I was young, so, you know, if there's a time to do it, now kind of is the time. But I just keep lying in bed and stuff. I suppose, right, my ego gets in the way because I think to myself, well, what if I do the thing and it's not very good? And what if I'm incapable of improving upon myself? What if I lack that level of self-awareness? And I don't think I actually do. I think I am quite self-aware. I know I'm quite self-aware. I come across as such an arrogant person, but I do know myself. Or maybe the problem is, what if I write something and it actually does turn out to be good? What if I have a weird, innate fear of being successful? Because if I'm successful, I have to be quite responsible for my life to keep that success going. Because some people might find success and then ultimately fail. they might go a bit off the rails, you know, and I've had a tendency to go off the rails my entire life without even having any level of success. But then that's a silly reason to not do something just in case you might actually be bloody good at it. That's ridiculous. It's all about, you've just got to overcome, you've got to get over yourself, essentially. I think perhaps a lot of us feel a need to justify our existence to ourselves instead of just existing and just doing the damn thing and having a bit of fun with it. Like, there's a lot of things that I don't feel very valid in doing. This channel, for example, I don't feel very valid in what I do as a content creator. I don't really think that it's a real thing, what I do. Sometimes I do videos slagging off other YouTubers when they're being a bit silly, though I do think I am one of the fairer people. I don't go in people as... I'm not as offensive as a lot of the other, like, you know, big commentary channels, right? But sometimes I just don't feel it's a very valid thing. Like, what am I actually doing? What is this that I'm doing? Surely I can't just really do this for a few years. That won't work. Am I a one-trick pony? But then some people have got to almost, you know, over 1 million subscribers from doing this exact same thing. Like, I'm Alex, Jackmate. Jackmate's really funny, though. Am I funny? Sometimes I think I'm funny, but sometimes I don't really think I'm funny at all. And there's not a live audience in front of me. So I can't assess whether I'm actually being funny or not in videos. I've got to rely on comments saying, oh, that was funny. The dynamic between, like, doing something like this and then going on stage and doing stand-up comedy and making people laugh, it's just, it's night and day, you know? So I guess that doesn't help the feelings of not being a valid profession, can we call it that? Hobby turned profession in these times. And really, isn't this just another form of entertainment, another form of comedy? Isn't most of the entertainment industry predicated on commentating or taking the mickey out of other people? Isn't a lot of stand-up comedy just taking the piss out of people in general or individual people? Most things are meaningless and imaginary anyway, so you should do what you want. I should do what I want, but not within the confines of hedonism. Hedonism? I don't know, I can't pronounce words. That's a thing that I can't do very well. I tried reckless hedonism for a few years. Doesn't really work. Maybe don't do it. Don't want to turn into, like, the picture of Dorian Gray. So now that I'm away from all of that, I want to achieve some form of validity in my existence, to achieve a little bit of greatness, whether that is through the means of comedy, entertainment, or writing a really solid, funny novel. I was listening to Russell Brand's Under the Skin podcast with Richard Ayoade, where he was talking about this topic in particular. And Richard Ayoade has recently come out of a book called Ayoade on Top. The first book he came out with was called Ayoade on Ayoade, and it's an interview of himself. I might do a review of it for this channel because it's one of those books where I was laughing out loud reading it. Ayoade is so fucking funny. He's just a gem of British comedy. He's so sardonic and deadpan and quick-witted. I'm really quite jealous. I was listening to this podcast, him and Russell, just... I was enjoying it, and then I started seething to myself, like, why can't I be as bloody funny as these two professional comedians who have been doing it for 15 plus years or are in their, you know, early mid-40s? Why can't I be as funny as them? Well, I haven't put in the work and the effort, and that's the fucking point. You've just got to put in the time to do something, and as long as you are capable of reflecting your own mistakes, then you will grow better within that thing that you want to do. You can't be a writer if you don't write. You can't be a stand-up comedian if you don't perform stand-up comedy. So anyway, I was listening to this podcast, and yeah, Ayoade's recently come out with a book called Ayoade on Top, in which he... apparently it's like a serious essay of a Gwyneth Paltrow film called View from the Top. And the film itself is somewhat, not nonsensical, but just apparently strange. Just a strange film at every turn. So Ayoade was so baffled when he watched this film, he decided to write a book about it, but taking it seriously, critiquing it as if it was one of the great works of the 20th century, as if, or the 21st century, what century are we in? Or if it was like Citizen Kane or something, the Citizen Kane of the 21st century. It's probably not a tagline in the book, but it bloody should be. And I was listening to him talk about this book, and I thought to myself, well, on a very, very, very smaller level, is that not kind of what I'm doing with this channel when I critique the babble that Inaction comes out with, or critique the rubbish that Tana Mojo does with MTV? Isn't this just a really much smaller, condensed, more myopic version of that? Because if so, if they're within a similar wavelength, then that's quite valid. I think I've come to the realisation in the past year that if you want to do something, then you should just do it, because surely something is probably better than nothing, though sometimes people doing something is worse than them doing nothing. Like Tana Mojo's MTV show, it would have been better for her if she had never done it. More often than not, doing something is better than doing nothing, and you might as well do something, because really, what else is there to do on this planet? Jeremy Kyle's not on TV anymore, do you know what I mean? Anyway, that's what I mean by I just want to monologue and talk shit for about 5 to 10 minutes and upload it and see what you guys think. What are you working on? Do you struggle with your own ego? The inner editor? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you want more little just... What even is this? It's just me talking to a camera. Is this not the point of YouTube? To talk to a camera and see what happens? Who knows? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!